So the panini has did a number on all of us. For a whole year of limited to almost no interaction, most of us have had to find the time to do things when alone. For some, that may look like working out, learning a new hobby, getting some well-needed rest, or, in my case, still spending my days on a never-ending mountain of work, as you can see. We've basically been left to our own devices. But I've often wondered how it feels when it comes to missing people. What is it like for others, and how is it especially for those of different personalities? Ways of interaction, like extroversion and introversion, have been a point of interest for me, and I intend to get to the bottom of it. So for me, I kind of imagine my walk as an introvert to being as a road, driving on a road by myself. I know I'm on the road alone for the most part, but I tend to enjoy it, and I like to tend to see the scenery around me. Being by my friends, my close friends, and my family is enough for me. I don't really need that much social interaction to feel energized or even well off. Just giving me my time alone is what tends to charge my battery. And in COVID, there's others like me who feel exactly the same way.
The COVID, for the most part, hasn't really hurt me in the least. It once in a while may be a little slight inconvenient for the people around me, but as for me myself, I love it. I don't love people dying by no means. Let's be clear about that. But the fact that I could be by myself and not have to come up with excuses on why I'm not going out or coming over to someone's house, that is great. But most of the people that I socialize with are family members to begin with, they're older siblings, and they for the most part, just as me to a certain extent, they doesn't have a real big problem with the epidemic. They starting with my older sister to all the way down to my younger sister. We're comfortable with a small group of people. So they, in some ways, they're a lot like me, or I could say I'm a lot like them.
It's been straight. COVID has been my excuse not to go out places and socialize, man. I'm good. I'll probably be good for probably like a couple weeks. Socialize with people.
Couple weeks?
Yeah, I'm good for a couple weeks. Socialize with people. Not just shut down. I don't want to answer no more calls.
Down.
Yeah, like I don't want to answer no more calls. I don't want to text nobody and nothing. Like you want to just be by yourself or whatever. You gotta build your energies back up to go socialize and everything. And then when you do that, you're probably good for another couple.
But while this is the case for us, I know this isn't the case for everybody, especially my extroverted friends who thrive on interacting with others. As Alex Berg from NBC News comments, a screen is no replacement for human interaction. So for extroverts, especially with studies like that of the University of Vermont, not being able to go outside and talk to others has actually made a decrease in their mood. And in talking to my friend, I've really been able to see this on a personal level.
It's kind of agonizing in a way. You almost felt antagonized by nothing, because you wanted so bad to be around people, but everything told you that you couldn't. Or like close contact, physical touch, all of that stuff. And you couldn't do it because otherwise, either you felt or you were being told that it was endangering someone or yourself, kind of thing. I would say that the actual conversations with people, that was probably the hardest part, because like having like maybe a couple hours a week with one person, and then maybe another person, it's every other week where it's like a couple of hours and that's it. Otherwise it's like in passing, and people aren't even saying excuse me anymore because they're so focused on like getting in, getting out, I don't want COVID kind of thing. That was probably the hardest part. It was the human interaction that I think the quality of that just dropped because everyone became so dependent on social media and Netflix for entertainment. And then the people that actually need the actual like smile and hearing someone laugh and talking to people, even if you're a stranger or doing something goofy in public or whatever else, that hurt for me.
Do you have any friends who are introverts or extroverts? And how are they dealing with things in the pandemic? From an outsider's point of view, of course.
In my opinion, I feel like they're extroverts. Most
of them? So, with COVID, how have they reacted to it? Have they not liked the restrictions? Have they wanted that interaction that you're fine without for a couple of weeks? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But though the ways we socialize may not be alike, there's a lot of ways that we're not so different. You know, I may be an introvert and I may like my quiet time, but there's a lot of times where I do feel lonesome. There are those days where I long for a piece of human interaction that I didn't think I'd need. And sometimes I wonder, like, what is everybody else doing? Am I missing out on anything? I wonder how others feel. What could be different, you know? And even though there's a lot of things I do to keep myself busy, there's still that little part of me that misses the small talk in large crowds that I used to find so annoying.
Well, even though I'm an introvert, there are times where it'll come upon me I want to socialize with more than one person. So I do get those, but they few and far between. But there are times where I like to socialize, especially with family, or whether it be you, my daughter, or especially my grandson when he come around. So there are some times where, just like anyone else, you want to interact with others.
I have noticed a few of them actually getting to the point where I said, like, you want something so bad you start wanting the exact opposite, where they actually started wanting some human interaction. So while I found myself turning more extroverted than I was before, I think they started turning introverted than before. They started turning a little bit extroverted in a way because they got so used to, for like over a year, having the bliss of an introvert, and I had the exact opposite experience, you know?
Mm-hmm. But though we are far from over with dealing with COVID, we can still thrive and survive in the midst of it and have fun while doing so. So, even though we may have some social interactions to deal with, or the lack thereof to also deal with, there are ways the different personalities can encourage each other in dealing with communication.
Try to get out, and interact with others, just talk with others, specialists and so forth. We definitely need to interact with others.
You can be compassionate and be healthy around someone, or do the right choice, or do the healthy and CDC guideline thing, and still stop and be human to other people. I'm very much also a perfectionist, so it's for them, when we feel really stressed, it's embrace the mess. And then when you feel like, and you're an extrovert and you feel like you're not seeing anyone, embrace the solitude of being alone. Not loneliness, because that's like when you feel sad and depressed, but solitude, like actually enjoying taking time to breathe, read, God, everything like that. Just actually stopping and enjoying the situation you're in, and not just panicking, because that's something I felt like I just felt anxious a lot.
Okay. Man, just be yourself, man. You gotta make it you, pretty much. Make it you. Fit it to your personality.
So whether you're fine being stuck with a computer or ready to get outside and meet the world, or a little bit in between, I think no matter where you're at, we'll all find a way to get through this together. And in the meantime, we'll be just fine.
They say, don't move too fast. Fine line between speed and too much gas. They say, don't go too slow. Fine line between patience and losing control. Life is a tightrope. Gotta do my best, get it off my throat. So much smoke in my words that I choke. Blacked out.